capital city of a country is often a lie. And to elaborate on what that means, you aren't understanding a country by visiting the capital city. And oftentimes, other consultants will solely visit the capital city, and this is undeniably a bad strategy. If you watch until the end, I will tell you exactly how you should be looking at the countries that you visit, and of course learn about the country that you are in. Hello and welcome back to the Traveling Reports. Today we're going over how realistically a lot of what is notable about a country is not within the capital city. Now, while I do think that visiting the capital city is important, I think that it does not tell you exactly what is actually happening on the ground in a country. I am presently in Tbilisi, Georgia, which is the capital of Georgia. However, if you scroll down in the videos on my channel, which of course if you want to see more of those, subscribe. I do breakdowns of internationalization, globalization, international business, and jurisdictional stability. So, of course, if you are looking for those things, subscribe. Additionally, if you are looking for the best jurisdictions to invest into or to move to or any of the above, feel free to scroll down into the description and fill out the Google Forms link. That said, of course, living in the capital city, you do get more modern amenities, right? You get more of the flash, more of the international part of internationalization. However, when you are truly trying to understand a country, you don't need the international part of internationalization. You are trying to integrate. And I think that's something that most consultants miss, is the piece of integration into a society, which is very important to begin with. As of course, no one will respect you if you're not integrated. And of course, when I first moved to Georgia, which was in late 2022, it is now 2025, so you do the math. I've lived here for 3 years off and on. This country has surprised me in more ways than one, as Tbilisi is entirely different to a place like Kutaisi, to a place like Borjomi or Kyoto. Any of these places are significantly different to what is Tbilisi. And so, living here, of course, I gained that perspective. But had I stuck solely to Tbilisi, I obviously would have been remiss on all of this information, and I would have been blinded by realistically what is an expat bubble. Of course, when I say there is expat bubbles, these exist in smaller cities too. And of course, if you are more interested in solely lower costs of living, lower taxes, there is a place for you to exist in these societies. But it's very rare that this is something that is long-term sustainable, which is why you see many expats constantly moving around, even if their job doesn't require it. And so, in essence, what I do, even though I am constantly on the move for the Traveling Report, which of course, subscribe again if you are interested in joining me on this journey of internationalization and globalization. However, On the traveling report, I do travel quite a bit, often to multiple jurisdictions within a month, right? I'm typically in a new jurisdiction every about 2 weeks now. But this isn't because I couldn't live in one country. I got very in-depth and in detail into Georgia, and it taught me a system of integration that's realistically most folks completely ignore. And as I spend more time integrating into societies, I realize I shorten the time. And so the one way that I've found most easy to spend time in a country and truly integrate is through not looking at the capital city, but instead moving towards villages and second-tier cities where you get a true sense of how people live, what people do day to day, and how that integrates into a larger, broader society. Now, living across the world, you kind of understand more about the culture even just dropping into a new country. However, true integration will not start until you understand exactly how things work in any regard. And of course, with that said, what I tend towards is a system of integrating just enough to get local deals. Now, I will be going over local deal flow here in the near future. I plan to fly to Uzbekistan here in a few weeks. I'm flying to Pakistan in a few days, which of course will make me able to speak more about different jurisdictions. So of course, if you're at all interested in learning about new jurisdictions and you're interested in seeing me in more villages, in more second-tier cities, then I would appreciate a subscription. And if you want to join me on the internationalization and globalization journey, that's one way to do it. If you like this video, feel free to toss a like on it. If you really like this video, feel free to share it with your friends. If you are looking for a way to get a grasp on these jurisdictions and you want to not spend your time glossing over hundreds of jurisdictions, hundreds of pages of law, feel free to fill out the Google Forms link in the description down below. I appreciate your time watching. This has been the Traveling Report, signing off.